we are on to the last portion of this tutorial of creating your Angry Bird. And this time we're just going to make sure that all the pieces are going to work the way that you want them to work. Yeah, so again, the main thing we want to do is have a Angry Bird that can do a lot of the expressions that you wanted it to do. I noticed that I'm once again not naming everything that I should have, and I also miscolored an area, so I'm going to be fixing that. But yeah, I'm going to go in here, and then we'll have tail feather, middle, mid, goal. Okay, and then I'll just copy paste this. So this will be tail feather bottom. Okay, and then this one right here will have tail feather top. Yeah. So that's our 3. Also going to recolor this part. So I'm just going to go into face mode, click on that, assign existing material. We still got our red material, we can still use it. Yeah, so perfect. Okay. Now as far as like putting this all together, so we're gonna kind of set your bird up like it's a car. Yeah. And the idea here is like you want to be able to move your eyes around, you want to move your eyebrows around, you want to move your beak around. But you don't want it to move independently of the whole body. Yeah, wherever the body goes, those other pieces should follow. Yeah. Now this isn't a true rig, but it acts like a rig. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these pieces. Yeah. So there's a lot of pieces, but I'm going to select every single one of these pieces that we made, and I'm going to group it together. So I'm going to do a Command G. Yeah, and in your outline, what you're going to notice is it goes from having everybody listed individually. And then when we go into Command G, now we have just like a humongous group. Yeah. Okay. Now to see all of your items, you just got to press the plus sign, and then here's all your items on the inside. Anytime you're moving the whole group, you want to make sure that you have the group selected. Yeah. I'm going to rename this group. So this is Angry Bird Red. Yeah, so we know that everything is together over here. Now I'm going to rename this part actually, so this will just be the body, so I know which part is which. Now a couple other things, yeah, when we're going with Angry Bird Red, yeah, for the group, we want to make sure that the pivot point is in the right spot. I'm going to go to my move tool. What you're going to notice right off the bat is our pivot point is right in the center. Okay, so what that means is if you do anything like squishing and stuff, like it's going to squish weirdly, it's going to squish down the center. Most of the time when you're squishing, you're going to want it to squish towards the bottom. Yeah, so I'm going to move that down. The way to do that is you're going to press the W key to go into your move tool. Okay, then we're going to press D. Yeah, and D is going to control your where that pivot point is. Right now, again, your pivot point is perfectly in the center of your character. If you press down D though, now you can move this pivot point. Yeah, and so again, we want this more at the bottom. Yeah, so you put that more at the bottom. Okay, and then when you press D again, now if you do any kind of squish, what you're gonna notice is, yeah, it'll squish in that general direction. Now, I don't know how much squishing you are actually going to be doing for this character, but that just gives you that option. Other things to keep in mind, okay, are going to be the beak. Yeah, so when the beak moves, usually the top beak is not going to move too much. Yeah, if you think about when you do any kind of talking or anything, your character will usually like if you do any talking, usually your bottom lip kind of does most of the action. Same thing with the beak. Yeah, so we're gonna actually keep this one a little bit more active. What you're gonna notice right now is if we take this lower beak and we rotate it, yeah, this is really weird movement for beak. Yeah, so we need to make sure that the rotation point is further back. Again, to do this, I'm going to go and press D, yeah, to change my pivot point. We are going to be pushing that further back into the body, and also like a little bit further down. Yeah, so maybe somewhere around here will work a little bit better. Okay, so D, and then using the move tool to bring that back. Then we're gonna press D again, and we do any kind of rotation. Yeah, the mouth will make a little bit more sense. Yeah, so you notice it'll be more talky over there. Okay, same thing with the top one. Yeah, if you can press D. This one we're not going to, again, move too much, but it is good to be able to move it, so I'm going to kind of push that back. And then when you turn this, yeah, it'll also allow you to do that kind of stuff. So now we have this, and we have this as well. Yeah, so both of those will kind of work out as far as like movement goes. Couple other things, we're going to check on your eyebrows. Yeah, right now your eyebrows may not exactly be working the way you want it to. Yeah, so I don't see too much of an issue with this, as long as the pivot points are in the center. Yeah, so you may want to check that out. The eyes are probably going to be okay already. One thing I did forget is we do have our um, our eyelids, yeah. So I'm gonna actually bring those back, and let's see if I can kind of get this eyelid going right here. So bring that down to right over there. Okay, and then same thing with the bottom one. Yeah, just so that gives us that option. Okay, left one, again, same thing. So I'm gonna bring that in. Then your bottom one, yeah. And if you want to see how this looks, yeah, he just is kind of skeptical about things right now. Yeah, not too bad. I'm gonna also make sure that these are the skin tone, yeah. So we're gonna right click, assign existing material, put that one at red, yeah. And so that gives you like more options here. Okay, again, your rotation point for the eyes are really good because what happened here is that you can kind of have your eyelids move around, yeah. But when you move the whole character, yeah. So if I move the whole character over here, everything would just kind of follow along, yeah. So it's kind of like a car, yeah. And then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and rehide these again. So get back to the eyeball, hide it. I don't really need this right now. Again, this is gonna be your folks' decision if you need those eyes, yeah. You can put those into play. Yeah, we'll get a little bit more into that when you folks are doing your animation. Last thing before I kind of go over like making sure that all your pieces are working together is if you can make sure that your pivot point for your tail, yeah, this is probably going to be best at your side view. You can kind of do this the same as the beak. You don't want your pivot point towards the center. Yeah, you want it more towards the back. So I'm going to drop one here, okay, and then again D, and then again select W. That pivot point is crazy, shouldn't be over there, so I'm going to kind of drop this off right here, and oops, and then move this down, yeah, so D, bring this down, okay, let's see how that works, yeah, so if you need to move the tail, you can, same thing with the last one, again, another crazy pivot point, so W, then D, bring this down, bring this over. Oops. Sorry, I have to grab the arrow. And right over here. And then press D again. Then when you use a rotation, yeah, by pressing E, then those pieces will kind of set up the way you want it to. All right. And that's pretty much most of it. Oh, shucks. I'm so sorry. Yeah, and this pivot point is really bad because it should be right in the center. Yeah, so I'm going to actually look at it from this view right here. I'm gonna go X-ray. Yeah, it looks like even my tail is like really crooked, so I'm gonna move these over. Okay, remember these are in a group, yeah, so these are in a group, which actually helps us out a lot when we're moving stuff. So let's see, where's the pivot point on this one? That one's good. Pivot point on this one. Oh, way over. I don't want that. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of move that pivot point again. D. Drag it over, try to center it as much as possible. Okay, and then we'll check the last one, yeah, which is the bottom one. So I think this one was okay, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, WD, yeah, okay. All right, and then using that, I kind of know that, okay, my three tails are actually pretty far off the middle, so I'm going to actually center that. Okay, it shouldn't matter too much, but look, it'll add some balance, yeah. All right. Okay, and then that's pretty much it. Once you have all of these in your overall group, yeah, remember we can animate this all together. You can do rotations, all that good stuff. Yeah, it's going to stay together. But if you need to animate, you can then go into your individual pieces, and like we could have him running. Yeah, so I'm going to go Angry Bird Red. Maybe I'll SQ this. Yeah, and then have him run forward for a second. Yeah, so 24 frames. SQ again. Okay, and then move him forward. And then while he's doing this, we can also have him be talking. Yeah, so maybe we'll have him right over here for the beak. At the beginning, I'm just going to have them both. Yeah, so where's my beak? Upper beak and lower beak. I'm just gonna have that at the first frame, leave him alone, and then maybe he's not talking until about the 12th frame. And then right over here, we're gonna have him to the 24th frame. We're just gonna have him open his mouth here. So we'll go with this one. S key, rotate, bring that down. Okay, and then maybe the top one will rotate it just a little bit. Yeah. So then we have that. Okay, and then when we watch the animation, yeah, you'll notice like the bird moves, and then his mouth will actually open as well. Okay, we could get him like more excited as well. So maybe his eyebrows. Yeah, I'm gonna select these ones over here. Maybe I want it to stay in place, so keep them in place for those 12 frames or so, and then we'll have it like jump up and then down. Yeah, so 12, maybe we'll go up to 18. Okay, and then I can actually use the move tool to bring it like this. Yeah, and then bring it back at 24 back to its original position. So we have it like that. So it kind of does this little, yeah, so whoop, yep. And again, it all stays in the same spot. Yeah, so that helps us out a lot. Okay, and then we can probably, when it's going down, what we could do with the right eyelid top and the left eyelid top, yeah, is we can have those stay where they are, and then maybe at that point, so 16, 18, yeah, they're just where they're at, and then at 24, yeah, we're just gonna get your right eyelid, rotate it, yeah, so we bring this down, S key, and then for my left eyelid top, S key, rotate that one down, S key again, yeah, and then we can kind of have this thing going where it's kind of going, yeah, so it kind of does a little bit of dip, yeah, and so yeah, and then like even the eyes can move, yeah, so you can kind of have him looking off to the side, eventually, yeah, so I'm gonna select both of these, first frame, okay, and then maybe at the 12th frame, we'll have him looking to the side, so we're gonna maybe have him look up, so S key that, and then this one too, S key that, okay, and then maybe at the 24th frame, we'll just have these, like he kind of looks lazy over here, maybe we can have him like, yeah, and then you'll see like, okay, so now we got that, and then we have that action, yeah, so dun, yeah, kind of derpy, but yeah, it works. So all right, so anyway, that's just a demo for the Angry Bird. Yeah, hopefully this gives you enough leeway. Again, you can do a lot of stuff with this. The main thing is we want to make sure that the pieces stay together when you're animating your character. Yeah, you want to have to like have the eyebrows keep up with the bird. You want the whole thing to just be moving, and then the individual pieces stay in the character.